Hello and welcome to the Joystick Drift Podcast, the podcast where we drift off just as much as a joystick. I'm your host, Mr. Nick Barrett, as always, and I am joined today by Molina and Alex, and in this second or third episode, I don't know which one it's going to be yet. I think it's going to end up being the third one. I think. That's assuming everything goes well, and we actually did an episode about the Mario movie trailer. So assuming that happened, this is episode 3. But if it didn't, this is episode 2. So today we are here to do a deep dive on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the brand new, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's hype. How are you guys doing today?
You kind of lost your English there. You must be very excited.
A little bit. I am. I'm very excited. I love Zelda. Can't you tell by my jacket?
Oh, I know. I'm like, we all have Zelda stuff behind us, or we're wearing Zelda stuff. Like,
I got this
before it's so exciting. Like,
I got this even before I even got Breath of the Wild.
Wait, you haven't played Breath of the Wild?
No, I got this years ago, but I got it before Breath of the Wild because it was impossible to find a Switch at that time.
Right.
That's true.
That's true. But like, it's so hard to contain myself because I'm like, yee! Anyway.
Yikes. I think, can somebody sample that? We can get it going for a dog whistle. We can call all the dogs on the block. Jeez.
Oh my god.
In fact, I think my dogs are coming to my door right now.
Oh my gosh. My mom's tiny little Yorkie is jumping up the stairs as we speak.
Oh my god, my dog's coming to... Oh wait, he's dead.
We're not even 5 minutes into the episode and it already got dark.
Excuse me. What?
It fits though. Tears of the Kingdom, okay? It's gonna be emotional, okay? It fits. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, I see Link amiibo in the background being emotional because he's stuck at 8 bits.
Yeah. Rest in peace, homie.
What is he even used for?
I mean, at least he thinks.
It does things in a game. I know that.
Like, does it even do anything in Breath of the Wild? Does it give you special stuff like that?
Yeah, it does actually. I got the hero's tunic from this.
Oh yeah. I gotta finish.
Yeah.
I have the. So, if anybody who listened to the first episode knows, I paid $100 for the Twilight Princess Link amiibo, and I told myself I'm not gonna take it out of the box until Twilight Princess comes to Switch, and then I took it out of the box anyway. So I needed to use it to finish like scanning in and getting the Twilight tunic and stuff in Breath of the Wild. I have the hat and I have the pants, but I need to scan it one more time and get the tunic. Should I do that right now? No, that's too much work.
No.
It's randomized, right?
That's too much work.
Well, you can. I know you can save and restart your game every time. I believe so.
No, because it has a timer on it. You can only do it once every 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which is stupid. I should be able to just sit there and spam it, so I can get everything that I want.
No, because
that kind of makes it less fun.
The game.
I mean, the whole point of having the amiibo is just to put it on your shelves mostly.
Yeah, that's true.
Nick.
Nintendo, listen to me. You need to capitalize on amiibo more. You don't capitalize on amiibo enough. They're getting better at it. Like they restocked all the Splatoon 2 amiibos, and they're putting out ones for Splatoon 3. But I expect to see a Zelda restock when Tears of the Kingdom comes out in May. I expect to see an amiibo restock.
I still need to find my amiibo, my Cloud amiibo. I max those guys out.
You don't know where they are?
They have to be in my attic. But there's too many bins in there. It'll take a while, so I have to clean that place out until I find it.
Attic trip. Oh my
Let's go.
gosh.
Attic vlog. Oh. Well, they're
If you're gonna play the ocarina, at least
Why?
play
Don't do it.
Saria's song.
Don't do it. Not on mic.
Oh, you're right.
At least know how to play Saria's song.
You're right.
Do you know that song?
I'm gonna make
Do
your
it.
editing
Do
job
it.
so
Hurt
much
the
harder.
listeners' ears. I dare you.
Well, no, you're just gonna block it out and just play some random audio. You know those.
Not necessarily.
Oh, you might though.
He's gonna cover it up with Saria's song.
I don't remember how to play it.
All right, everybody. Let's stare at Melina as she uses the ocarina.
Now, is it called Ocarina or Ocarina?
Ocarina.
It's ocarina.
Thank you.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who says Ocarina of Time.
Have you met people from New
If
Jersey?
you call it Ocarina of Time, you're wrong. I'm sorry. That's just fact.
If you
You're
say
wrong.
Ocarina, if you say manga, you're just wrong in life.
Okay,
Okay, that's a
manga's
totally
a whole
different
different
topic.
conversation.
Exactly. Alex, that's a whole other issue.
Well, here, since we're a gaming podcast, I'll toss it to Alex because I always toss it to Melina first, so I'm gonna shake it up. Since we're a gaming podcast, what if anything have you guys been playing this week, like video game wise?
I have actually been playing Skyward Sword. I was never able to complete it on the Wii, and having it on Switch, it makes me realize what we lost.
What did we lose, actually? I'm curious.
So if you're an original owner of Skyward Sword on the Wii, not only did you get the game, but you also got a soundtrack disc.
That's right. And there was the special edition with the gold Wii remote.
Yes. Meanwhile, with Switch, you have to pay for the special edition Joy-Cons, and the only thing you get is the cartridge. I know there really isn't anything to play the soundtrack music on when it comes to the Switch because it's a cartridge-based system.
You know, it'd be a really easy fix for that problem.
Nintendo releasing their music on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that.
Yeah. I never understood. I'll never understand why they don't do that. It's losing money. Like, it is free money that they are not taking advantage of. Like, I would buy, regardless of the fact if I could listen to it on Spotify or not, I would buy the Breath of the Wild soundtrack. I would buy the Xenoblade 3 soundtrack. Because they're really good.
I know exactly why.
I would too. It's just that, like, everything's streaming and subscriptions now. You can't buy music anymore.
Here's the reason why.
That's true.
Here's the reason why. It's not just because Nintendo's huge on their copyright. It's also because they hate illegal distribution. They've been doing this thing since the Game Boy player on the GameCube. If you owned a Game Boy Advance in the 2000s, you know about those special video cartridges that were able to play TV shows. The Game Boy player was not able to play those cartridges because you were able to hook up a DVD recorder to your GameCube and then just make illegal copies. That's if the cartridges worked. But because they didn't work, people couldn't make illegal copies. But it just bears the question. At that time, it bears the question, why would anyone want to buy a disc or cartridge of a very low quality movie that is meant to fit on a Game Boy screen?
See, here's the thing. They could solve that problem by releasing their music officially, because what ends up happening is you have those giant YouTube channels that just, like, I am subscribed to a YouTube channel that dropped all, like, 250 Xenoblade 3 tracks. Like, could you imagine? Which maybe that's why they don't drop albums officially, because it's like 250 songs. But even then, just pick like 50 of the best ones and put them on a thing on Spotify. Like, it's not that difficult. It can't be that difficult.
It's not. It's not. Konami releases all their music. In fact, I listen to every single song from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Their music is awesome.
Yeah, it's an issue that they need to fix, and they probably won't.
They'll make so much money off that. We know that.
They would, even if they put them on their official YouTube channels and turned on monetization. Like, just saying. But yeah, is that all you've been playing, Alex, with Skyward Sword?
It's definitely better than the controls on the Wii.
That's true.
Because on the Joy-Cons, you just press the button and it centers it automatically depending on where that Joy-Con is. Meanwhile, on the Wii, it used infrared light from the sensor bar, so you always had to be centered no matter what, and you never know, it loses connection. Wire faulty, infrared light bad. So the controls are definitely better.
They actually, for Skyward Sword with the Wii Motion Plus remotes, if you press down on that keypad, it centers your pointer, and you could be wherever you are.
I would have to find out because I actually don't have my Wii U anymore. My brother.
Alex, I'm speaking facts. I have it.
Yeah, I'm not doubting you. I just I want to try it out, but my brother unfortunately has my Wii U because he wanted to play Mario Galaxy on there.
You know, I think the biggest thing that people really like, you know, people just hated it, but I mean, you could see that was the motion controls, but I really think when you get down to it, Nintendo really over the years has been very experimental with offering their audience different ways to play their video games, and you got to give them props in that sense because what other
definitely.
companies have actually gone that far to offer so many different types. And mind it could be risky, but when you go back to it, I don't mind motion controls at all. I thought it was fun for me for Skyward Sword because I was like, oh, it feels like I'm swinging the sword and everything. So that's kind of my enjoyment that I got out of it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, Nintendo is the one that invented the D-pad that we all know and love today, and they thought it would have been awful.
But yeah, I like the incorporation of motion.
Skyward Sword is also overhated and underrated.
Thank you, yeah.
I played through it on the Switch, and I get it. There was all these the motion controls suck on the Wii. Okay, well... the Joy-Cons are infinitely better, but I think it was nice that they also gave you the option to play with the button controls if you wanted to, which I tried out button controls once. I hated it.
Wait, they did?
I did not. Yeah, they added button controls, and the right stick is essentially the swinging motion of the sword. You just tilt the right stick in the direction you want to swing the sword. It was really stupid.
What's the camera?
Because I'm so used to the right stick being the camera. I think you have to press down
ZL,
I think. You had to press and hold ZL to move the camera, and it was really frustrating.
Oh god,
which is why I only played it in motion controls, because then I can freely move the camera while also, being able to sit there and swing the sword. And let me tell you, the final boss fight with the motion controls was actually hard. Can we all agree Calamity Ganon in Breath of the Wild is kind of a joke?
Yeah, he's a pushover.
Just in terms of difficulty of a boss fight, it is a joke. But fighting, I guess, spoiler alert, Demise at the end of Skyward Sword, that took me 2 or 3 tries to actually get it. Because you also have to multitask between, okay, well, I have to stop and use a potion. Because in Breath of the Wild, when you go in to, heal, it pauses the game. So, you could be about to get killed, just be like, oh, pause. Okay, now I'm full health again. Bam. Then you take the hit and you're not dead. You don't have that luxury in Skyward Sword. And I think that's kind of what made it a little more difficult, is you have to be able to balance all of these things. So... yeah, and the motion controls, really cool. Made me really feel like I was a part of the game, because I was sitting there with a shield, and I was like, bam, shield bash. Okay, bam, 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 bam. Swing, swing, and then bam, shield bash. Oh, got a block. It was just so much more immersive experience. Not to, take away from any of the combat in other Zelda games. It was a really good idea that they had, but I don't think it's one of those things that should have stuck around for more than one game. I think that's what makes Skyward Sword special, is that it is that novel, unique experience, in a sense. Does that make, you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. The motion controls for Skyward Sword, it fits, and it shouldn't, I don't think motion controls would fit with any other game, really. any
Right.
other Zelda title. But yeah, because like honestly, when I play Skyward Sword, I can't see myself playing it on controllers with no motion control. Like I just can't. I don't know
And-
why.
Right, because the whole game was designed around the motion control.
That's the thing. It was designed around the motion control, which makes it unique, and it has, especially with puzzles, it makes unique puzzles. But yeah, like one of the first like puzzles you have in the first temple in the woods is with the unlocking the door or gate or whatever with the eyeball, and you have to do this with your sword. And I was like, that's
And you
so
gotta
like
spin it around.
exactly. And you also had unique enemies too, and I was like, that's really cool. So
And can
so
we
it
also
definitely
acknowledge
added to the difficulty. So
Skyward Sword was all about being different from other Zelda games, because this is like the only Zelda game I know of that shows like Zelda having some sort of love interest to Link.
True. This game, okay, you cannot look at this game and tell me Zelink is not canon. This is the one game where it is like explicitly canon.
yeah, but you realize even before this game, people have always known that Zelda and Link were like.
Yeah, but this is like
Well, no.
this is the first time like Nintendo has like shown something like that.
Exactly. This is the first time Nintendo took a step to make it legitimate.
In a video
Obviously,
game,
there was like little
but there's
tidbits
been in a video game, yes, but if you're saying overall, then no.
Where else? Well,
In media,
are you referring to like the animated show that nobody talks about?
the one I know, but the one that's so iconic. Excuse me, princess.
Me, princess.
Dude, I grew up. I
Listen.
actually like grew up watching that. I loved it so much.
I did not.
I
grew up
found
watching
all
the Super
13
Mario Bros. Super
episodes on
Show.
YouTube. All 13 episodes on YouTube. I'm gonna watch them before
Wait, are they?
Tears of the Kingdom comes out. Yeah,
Oh
they're
my
all there.
gosh.
I sat down and watched.
they're also. I think they're all on Amazon Prime too, like for free, like included with your Prime subscription.
Oh,
They're all
that's
there.
so funny. Oh my god, that's adorable.
I seen like ads for Legend of Zelda through the Super Mario Bros. Super Show.
That's what we should have. That's what we. Oh my god.
Honestly,
I never
This-
watched that show. I mean, I know
It's-
about it. I know it exists. I know about it. I've seen clips, but I
it's
never like.
kind
grew
of
up with it.
weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I
Yeah, that's why
regret
Nintendo
watching,
doesn't talk about it.
Actually, no. Okay, that's a different
wasn't
topic.
bad.
I was about to say I regret watching that Mario movie.
Oh god.
Okay. Don't say anything. Don't say anything about the Mario movie. I have.
No, I meant.
Believe
I
it or
meant-
not.
I meant like the live
I have-
action one.
No. I know. I
Oh.
have 2 copies of that movie on DVD.
Oh, I have VHS.
I have one that I bought. I have one that I bought off Amazon, that was new, sealed, and then I went to a used, like media store, and I found an open copy for like $1, and I was like,
That's a
it's
rob.
only $1.
That's
There's
robbery
no
right
way
there.
you think there's
So-
gonna be value in.
That's robbery
Listen,
right there.
we don't know. Well, I'll move on. Melina, what have you been playing this week, if anything?
I know, right? Because I've been working all week. No, I would say
It gets harder when you have a job.
it does get harder. It's called life, guys. I've been playing 2 games. I've been playing Beat Saber on my VR recently, and I've also been playing Miitopia.
Of course you
Ah, yeah.
have.
What a banger game.
I love it so much. Like, I really do. And, like, I mean, I wish there was more, I guess, in the after kind of story stuff. Like, I'm going
Yeah,
through
the
I'm going through the
post-game-
new areas, like, post-game. But I've definitely slowed down in, like, my times playing it.
Yeah, I stopped playing after post game. Like I did a little bit of post game. Like I did one world. I was gonna 100% it, but then like it got really tedious and I wanted to move on. So I went on to play something else. It's such a good game though. Like highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the Switch version is so much better because of all the new like customization features for the Miis that they added. They didn't have any of that in 3DS. Like
Oh, yeah.
so bringing it over, which by the way, Tomodachi Life has to be coming to Switch because there's no way they put all this work into a Mii customization system like that to use it in one game.
That
Like,
makes
it just seems
pointless.
like such a waste to use it in one game. And also, Nintendo could use their version of The Sims. That's all I'm gonna say. This could be their opportunity to really like turn Tomodachi Life into.
Oh no, they had.
Sims
Oh no,
version.
Nintendo had their version.
What's their version of The Sims? Is it Animal Crossing?
No, well,
No.
this was a game that was exclusive to the Wii. It was called My Sims.
Is
My
it just like The Sims though?
Not exactly. So with My Sims, I mostly play My Sims Kingdom, but the whole objective of that game is to go around and use a magic wand and help people. You go around and
yeah,
help
that's
people
definitely
complete
not- that's
tasks.
not
You're
EA
able to
Sims.
explore more islands. I know it sounds weird, but this was a game that I played during my childhood that I played a lot of, and it was exclusive to the Wii. If you ever
try
have
again,
time,
Nintendo.
you can look it up.
Again.
But it was so difficult because you had to rely on the Wii to raise the blocks higher, and a lot of times it would just go left or right or down instead of up.
That's kind of cringe. Try harder, Nintendo. Bring Tomodachi Life to the Switch. People are not going to stop asking.
Bring My
gotta
Sims
happen.
Kingdom to Switch. Me and my brother will relive childhood.
Well,
See, now I want to go see what sold more copies.
that's the real question.
Never mind. Moving on. What have I been playing?
Yeah, what
Fortnite.
have you been doing? Oh my god.
That's it.
That's
Well,
all you
Fortnite,
play.
and I dabbled a little bit in Lego Star Wars:
You
The Skywalker
dabbled?
Saga. It's yeah, I completed episode 4,
We just
and
making
then I
up words.
stopped again.
We
That
just
is not
making
a
up words in this
dabbled.
podcast.
You dived into it.
Dabbled is a word.
I know.
making
No,
up
I
words.
didn't say it wasn't. I was saying like you dabbled into it, and then you're like, I completed or episode 4, and I was like, you didn't dabble. You
Okay,
dove
episode
into
4 is
that.
like 3. It's 3 mini levels. Like
to get to
there's-
episode 4.
well, no, like I had done an initial play session when it came out in April, and I played 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Took a
well,
break until now, and then played 4.
Well, context, Nick.
I didn't think I needed content anyway. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna play, because I have like Monster Hunter, Astral Chain, Fire Emblem, and Lego Star Wars. Because Persona doesn't come out till the end of October,
That's exciting.
and I'm waiting to do a bunch of Xenoblade post game until the DLC comes out. Well, I guess by the time this episode comes out in like a week and a half. So once that comes out, I'll get back into Xenoblade, which I'll, probably end up sticking another 10 hours into that. And then I'll jump into Persona 5, which I'm low-key really looking forward to playing Persona 5. I've only heard good things about it, and I've been wanting to play it, and I held out on getting a PlayStation because I was like, it's going to come to Switch eventually. It's a perfect Switch game. And now it's coming to Switch. I was right. In the long run, I was right. So, yeah, that's enough. That's enough interlude. Intro. Yeah.
In other
Introduction.
news, what are our general thoughts about the sequel?
The sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, also known as The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes. That everybody has been excitedly and been very patient 5 years.
Because guys, guess what? Ooh, can I make that joke? I don't know. It's been like 3 weeks. I feel like I can make that joke.
what
Their 10
joke?
days are over.
Oh,
guys,
okay, yeah, we know, yeah. You mentioned it
Queen
in
Elizabeth
the first...
dies in Tears of the Kingdom. That's why it's called that.
Oh.
Actually, no. That is a point that I want to bring up later. Is Zelda gonna die in this game? And I would say I'm gonna make a case for yes, but that's a conversation for later.
I mean,
We'll do
it's not
general
like we
thoughts
haven't
now.
seen her. It's not like we haven't seen her die before. Just saying.
That's true.
But I think what you mean is she going to be legit dead?
Yes.
You're just saying yes.
I mean,
Yes. No, that is my opinion.
in Zelda 2, she's like dead throughout the entire game until you beat it.
Yeah, and then
She's
in
also
Twilight
dead in
Princess she
Spirit Tracks,
disappears
too.
in light. In
But then she comes back by the end, so that
I
doesn't
know.
really count.
In Skyward Sword, she gets eaten. Basically.
Yeah, but she comes back by the end, so it's fine. That doesn't count. She dies in Spirit Tracks, but then becomes like your companion character.
I know, she's like a spirit or something. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, that's why it's called Spirit Tracks, Melina.
I know, but it's still creepy. Okay, so
dead...
wait. So technically, no, Spirit
never
Tracks.
died.
She is no. She is dead though, but that kind of I know, but that leaves it open to even if Zelda does die in the sequel, she could still be alive.
Well, yeah, because in general thoughts out the window.
Well, no, because wait. Sorry, for Breath of the Wild, she was technically
there's precedent.
She was just a spirit, hold with her power.
Well, no. What I mean is there's also because she wasn't dead. I think that's a lot of. I feel like people get caught up on that. She wasn't dead in Breath of the Wild.
No, she was not.
She was sealed in the castle with Ganon. That's why she didn't age a single year, is because she was just sealed in there.
Right, she was.
It's the same reason why Link didn't age either, because he was in the Shrine of Resurrection.
Yeah.
Right, but that was more. So for Link, it was more of like his body was being physically maintained. Zelda, remember,
didn't
she
have
appears.
A physical form.
Right, she didn't have a physical form. So she was.
So it would make sense that when she came
was
back to her physical
dead.
form.
Can Zelda Can Zelda go through...
Her physical form turned into the spirit, and then when the spirit came back 100 years later, it would only make sense that she would rematerialize into the body she had.
Rematerialize?
Can Zelda go through one decade?
She would not...
Can Zelda go through one decade without, like, being, like, dead or in a dead-like state? Or almost getting killed?
No. Listen, the whole premise of these games is built on the damsel in distress. And apparently the only way to have a damsel in distress is to just kill her. Or put her in some kind of peril.
Wait, but you're not wrong. Like, remember Midna?
The word distress,
the
I
Twilight
guess,
Princess?
to Nintendo means let's kill. Let's almost kill.
By the way, Midna's theme in Twilight Princess, I love that so much.
Here's what I'll say. To put my point on why I think Zelda is gonna die. One,
okay, let's hear.
She falls. She's gone. Like, now, granted, we don't really know.
What about Skyward Sword? She's sucked in a tornado.
Yeah, but she was sucked in a tornado. Like,
that usually kills people.
This time, Zelda's falling. There's like clearly rock coming down. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled a JoJo and just like she hits the ground and then she looks up and just bam, rock just splat, crushed, dead. And then she pops up as the spirit because we have there's precedent for dead people coming back in Breath of the Wild. Like, there's the spirits of all four champions, and the king also did it. So that precedent is there. It's not like we haven't seen them do it before in the first game. So I think if she dies, it ends up being something like that, where she'll still be that voice guiding you through the journey, but now she's dead. But I also don't know if Nintendo has the guts to do that.
How many fans would they piss off if they did something like that?
They piss off a lot because a lot of people want her to be playable, and killing her goes in the opposite direction. They're like, "Oh, you wanted to play as Zelda? She's dead."
But so far in the trailer, there's only been, gameplay of Link.
Okay, but also, we've seen a minute and a half of gameplay.
And
maybe
it's gorgeous.
Across
and it's 3
trailers.
Gorgeous.
Oh no, it's
awesome.
Beautiful. It's a 10 out of 10.
Beautiful.
Definitely.
But like,
I'll let you finish your thought, but I actually had a sort of theory in my head about Link.
Go.
Why are you looking at me
Do
like
tell.
that? Oh, his arm. We've all seen that it does. It's looked weird.
I love the trope of characters with messed up arms. I
know.
So good.
You'll love Barrett then from Final
So-
Fantasy VII.
It really doesn't like whether it's damaged, like it's still his arm and it's just very damaged, and then he attains this power, or his arm gets decapitated.
Okay. So
What is this,
I have
Luke
a point for that.
Skywalker
Though.
stuff?
I'm gonna go through the trailer here, just
Link
so I
is
have
not-
visual reference. I'm going through the second trailer. If you look in the second trailer, in the very beginning, let me see if I can find.
It's
YouTube
literally
can't
the
go more
thumbnail.
than like.
Link
Well,
is now
no,
Skywalker,
I mean-
people. He loses his
Oh,
arm.
there goes Zelda. She's
Like,
gone.
If
She's
no,
fallen.
I know, but if you look at the thumbnail for the 2021 teaser, like if you look at it almost looks like Guardian technology.
It does, but it also looks like if you look in the first trailer, it looks like the arm that's like on top of Ganondorf or whoever
You're
that is.
right. It does look like that too.
So that's the hot theory, is that whatever spirit or whoever that is, like holding down Ganondorf, or what we assume is Ganondorf. I feel like that's a pretty safe bet.
We haven't seen him in a
It's-
long
yeah.
time.
That's Ganondorf.
yeah.
And it only makes sense because we got Ganon in the first game. So it would
Yeah.
only make sense that like the logical next step would be, okay, well, we're going to go back to Ganondorf or Demise if you really want to take it back. Because there's a lot of speculation that this is the game to end the timeline. Like,
What about
this is breaking the cycle of reincarnation and just ending it.
Okay,
which
what
I think
about-
it could, because
Dark Link?
I mean, Dark Link has really just been, one of those bosses that.
I mean,
You know?
he was the final boss in Zelda 2. He was like a mini
but
boss. He was a
mind
mini.
you, that's Zelda 2, and then with Zelda 2, that timeline that's in the timeline where
It was in the
Link-
original timeline.
there's 3 timelines.
In the original, because it was
No,
the
yeah,
second
before
game.
the split, right?
No,
No, I mean
Well,
like
no. Zelda 2 is not.
Zelda 2 is
like,
in the
timeline-wise,
timeline where
Zelda 2
Link
is
dies in Ocarina.
Hold up, I'm gonna pull
Zelda
up
2 is literally the only
the timeline
direct
real quick.
sequel to like the original Legend of Zelda.
I know that, but those 2 games fall within the timeline where Link dies in Ocarina.
I don't think they're like order-wise. I don't think they're like they come one after the other.
But what I
I
was
think
saying
it's
is
like
like
2 and then 1, or 1 and 2.
I was pointing out like the appearances Dark Link made. He originally was the final boss in Zelda 2, like a mini boss if he's that in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
Like-
that's a side boss.
Yeah, in
and
Ocarina
he
of
also
Time,
made
it's
an
in the
appearance
water
in
temple.
the original Hyrule Warriors. How many appearances has he actually made?
No one counts
Not that
Hyrule
many.
Warriors
He's in
as
the,
like part of the thing, though.
No, Hyrule Warriors is not part of the official timeline. It fits on the timeline. We watched a whole video about it. Remember?
Yeah, if it does fit
The
on the
original
timeline.
Hyrule Warriors is its own thing. Age
Right.
of Calamity is kind of like
Age of Calamity just completely screws with the timeline.
So then
Which is
it's
why
not
I
part
wouldn't
of
put
it.
it on there. Yeah, no, it like the whole point of Breath of the Wild is to what it seems like is they're like, okay, it's 10,000 years disconnected from any other Zelda game.
oh,
So to
definitely.
me, that says, okay, we're bringing this timeline back together. Like we're sewing it back into one timeline because there's been so much time between any other
Exactly,
game.
and in kind of
But
like
then-
the between though, when Hyrule Warriors came out, in my head I was like, because of the plot of the story, how all the basically the different games and different timelines are
Merged together.
opened into them. I thought originally I was like, oh, is this their way of bringing them together? And of course, if you go through the original story and everything, it just shows certain ones, and you could be like, oh, well, it doesn't bring every timeline together. It's like, but then they released DLC that brought in every timeline.
Wind Waker.
Basically.
Oh god.
right.
So that's why I like to put Hyrule Warriors in the timeline to kind of put things together, because at the moment, it's really kind of the only thing that works.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the map on Breath of the Wild, there's names of islands that come from all 3 different timelines. And it's
yes,
how
definitely.
do you get these names if you're saying that, oh, it's only connected to one timeline or it's not connected to any of them? Makes no sense.
Right.
So there has to be
I'm
some kind of history where all these timelines were mushed together, and in that time, something happened or whatever, and then you get Breath of the Wild.
I think we're just letting our listeners think too much now.
I mean, hey,
now
that's great. Dialogue.
We can do a whole episode where we get into the nitty-gritty of the Zelda timeline. I'm looking at the actual video of his arm in the second trailer where he's laying. Yeah, I'm still looking at the arm, like where he's laying on this table thing.
The table thing. Is this similar to the resurrection?
Yeah, it looks like the Shrine, because it looks like he's only wearing trousers.
Again,
because you can see like part of his hip and his leg in the shot. So it looks like a very this is the beginning of the game. Like, I have a very strong feeling, which I'd love to get your guys' opinion on this. I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to be more linear than Breath of the Wild. I think it's going to follow a lot more of a story. Not saying they're going to get rid of the open world, go do whatever you want.
They better not.
Yada, yada, yada. Because they can't get rid of that, because that's what was the selling point for the first game. So if you get rid of the selling point of the first game, you kind of lost your selling point for the second game. But I think the beginning of the game is going to be very linear, in the sense of you start out and you cannot free explore until you get past a certain point. Kind of like in Breath of the Wild, where you can free explore on the Great Plateau, but you can't leave until you do all 4 shrines.
I personally wouldn't mind that, and I like that because it's kind of keeps you thinking and going thinking about, the story and everything, why can't I go here? Is there something important here? I should probably check that later or something.
Right. There are points in Xenoblade 3 where, I was doing a story quest, and I'm it would make a lot more sense if I just, warped to where I need to go. But then it would tell me, no, you can't. You cannot warp at this time. And I'm okay, well, that means I need to follow the path, because there's something story-related that's going to happen on the way there. Yeah. And I think the opening of the game will be very similar, where you're underground or whatever, and you're really, following this on-rails narrative thing. And then once you get past that, you get the arm, which I'm assuming is going to be the replacement for the Sheikah Slate or whatever, because he doesn't have the Sheikah Slate in any of the trailers whatsoever, before or after you'd, lose the Master Sword or anything. So I think that's your Sheikah Slate replacement, and then you'll get your quest mission of okay, well, Zelda's underground, you're in the sky, and you need to keep Ganondorf from rising all of these islands into the sky. Now go. And that's when you get to go out and openly explore and free explore and whatever.
The worst type of open world explorer Zelda game, I would have to say, is Majora's Mask, because you're on a time limit throughout the whole game.
Oh, I hate that.
You have to go in that certain direction. You can't freely explore unless you want to play that Song of Time to go back, but then you lose everything you got along the journey. So you have to hurry and go that certain way. You can't just freely explore okay, this is Zoro's domain. This is the Goron. And okay, I'll come back here because this one looks easier. Nope, you got to go follow the story.
Right, but with that's a whole other topic for
I just wanted to point that out.
But I can't forget to mention that.
But also, can we also acknowledge that a lot of the times when Nintendo tries to do something different with Zelda games, they usually are the least favorite amongst the fans?
I would okay.
No, not every fan, because there's a lot of the fandom that does like Skyward Sword, for example. There's a lot of the fandom that likes Majora's Mask. There's a majority that likes and dislikes Ocarina of Time. There's always going to be that small group within the fandom that doesn't like any of the games.
I know, but I'm asking because like Zelda 2 is different. Majora's Mask has a different system. Skyward Sword had sort of a different system, mostly
Right,
just
yeah,
with controls.
for
But like
majority, they all have different.
they're the least liked compared to the other Zelda games.
Well, yeah, compared to now, because you have different generation now of people playing Zelda. So, compared to a 2D game, that generations now haven't ever touched and aren't used to, they're not gonna like it.
Zelda 2 being the only Zelda game that consists of side scrolling.
Zelda 1 has it too.
So I'm completely sidetracked. I'm watching the trailers over again, which I think that's the fascinating thing about these trailers. They're all a minute and a half long, but every time you watch them, you notice something different. Like, to kind of piggyback off of what I was saying before with like, oh, here's where you open up. There's literally the first gameplay shot in the most recent trailer where Link like shoves the doors open and he's got like this really basic shield, really basic sword, and like he's wearing his same outfit. That's gotta be the point where they first let you loose in the game. Like that's gotta be your opening point. Like this is wherever you're knocking in and you're going out, because it looks, just looking at like, oh well, actually there's not even a sword, it's just a shield.
Oh,
so
yeah, I'm just noticing this now too.
You see what I'm talking about though? Like this feels like an opening to the game.
Whoa,
like this is the opening, and then you run out, a la when you open the Shrine of Resurrection and run out, and then you get your big.
Wait, I also just noticed something too though. Remember your theory about being underground?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we're starting in the sky though.
Okay. So here's the thing. I think Link and Zelda get separated. She stays underground, and Link somehow gets taken up to the sky.
Well, I think
There's a lot of people who are like, well, the Link with the green tunic and the long hair, that's actually a different Link. And I'm like, no, it's not a different Link. And they're like, but he has long hair.
That's because he has
and
a
Breath of the Wild
ponytail
Link
right
has
now.
it up in a ponytail. And I'm like, okay, if you equip any, like there are certain helmets, like if you equip the Guardian helmet in Breath of the Wild, he takes his ponytail off, and it's the long hair. So it's the same Link. It's just he doesn't have the ponytail in one outfit. That's all it is. Yeah. Like, come on, guys, calm down.
I guess to them, Link never touches his hair at all.
Yeah, Link actually doesn't know how to style his hair.
Link doesn't even shower.
Bruh.
But also, I think it would be a nice addition if they let us choose whether or not we want like ponytail or long hair. Like, I think that would be a nice addition if it wasn't locked to certain outfits, and you could be like, okay, well, this play session, I'm going to have Link with long hair. Or, like, I think long hair looks good with this outfit, and the ponytail looks better with this outfit. Like, I think that would be a nice little customization thing that wasn't in the first game.
I guess Breath of the Wild was a step in the right direction, because with every other Zelda game that I can think of, anytime that Link changed his outfit, it was just the same outfit, but a different color.
Right. And that's what I liked about Breath of the Wild, is I have sets of, like, okay, I like the hood, the champion's tunic, and these pants, or like the Sheikah chest thing with these pants with this hood. Like, I like the inner mixing of the outfits, and that is something that it seems like they'll keep in this game. We haven't seen any outfit combinations other than the champion's tunic and whatever the green hero tunic is, which, I mean, you can't tell me that's not them going right back to every Link wears green. Like, every Link has worn green up until Breath of the Wild Link, and he wore blue, and everyone was like, "Whoa!"
I like that.
He's starting out with blue.
I did like that
crazy.
style though.
Oh no, me too. Blue's my favorite color, so I'm like always down for anything blue. So I'm honestly really interested to see how they explain all of these sky islands being in the sky, because they're not in the first game.
I was about to say, because you were like, okay. You're like, basically, summarize what you were saying. You're like, okay, so Zelda's gonna die, right? and
Yep.
Link's arm's gonna get taken off, damaged,
It's gonna
whatever,
get messed up
in that time. And then we're gonna wake up underground, but we're actually outside. I mean, in the sky.
Have you?
But there has to be an amount of time between when he like is unconscious, which, I mean, I don't know how long it takes for land to float up. I mean, that all depends on, I guess, Ganondorf's power.
I also think they'll pull some Skyward Sword level stuff and be like, well, it was actually above the clouds the whole time, and that's how they'll justify putting a loading screen in when you go from the sky to the ground. Because there's no way, you can't tell me current day Switch, base model Switch, no Switch Pro, can handle having 2 layers of like generated world running at the same time. There's no way.
But I guess it's
and if you can explore underground, there's no way the Switch can handle having 3 layers of terrain loaded at the same time. So there's going to be a loading screen somewhere in there.
Now that you mentioned that, I did hear a rumor. I'm not saying, now for anyone out there listening, this is not confirmed, but I did hear a rumor that like this will be the last like official like Nintendo game released on Switch, and then they'll probably release like a Switch Pro, but we have not heard anything about a Switch Pro. So the rumor is most likely false.
Oh, don't get me going down the Switch Pro train. I actually do want to go down it, but not right now.
You've been on that
But
train
not
for
right
quite
now.
a while.
Have you guys seen the really messed up Master Sword for this game?
Oh,
Did you guys?
When it's
Okay, did you
broken?
watch
Is
the
it broken?
launch time? Watch the link I just sent, and it's got the which that's a whole different thing to speculate on. You can see, well, one, the Master Sword is glowing, which I think Fi is coming back from Skyward Sword, because we heard the little noises in Breath of the Wild. Like the whatever her little noise is from Skyward Sword, you can hear it in Breath of the Wild. And even like Zelda notes, oh, the sword, it's speaking to me. So, you know, that's crazy. But also, like, oh man,
Whoa.
I'm going
But yeah,
hyper
I
in on
remember
this.
that.
There's one shot of Link's hand where you can see there's a little emblem on like the back of his hand that
Right.
looks like the Monado symbols from Xenoblade. Not saying that's what it is, but that's
I
like
know.
the most comparable thing
Yeah. Oh my
to
god.
put to it.
Oh, sorry. Remember watching a video. Somebody was trying to zoom in and analyze the symbol on his hand because they were like, "That does not look like a triangle." So
Ain't no
what is
Triforce.
it?
Ain't no
Everyone
Triforce
thought it
of
was a
Courage.
Triforce, but it's not.
Link's above that. He's above the Triforce
Also-
of Courage.
Rest in peace, the Master Sword. Like, it kind of gets a.
It looks
That
cool,
sword
though.
goes through so
Also-
much abuse. I'm surprised it hasn't like been fully broken yet.
Master Sword destroyed Demises out of the sword, because in Skyward Sword, Demise got sucked into the Master Sword. The only way for him to get out would be for it to be broken, which this looks pretty broken and mutilated to me. Like, I don't know how much more broken it would have to be for him to have escaped. You know what I mean?
Well, remember, he was sealed in the sword, and then he was like, the whole incarnation thing cycle between Link, Zelda, and him. So Ganondorf is that reincarnation of Demise, and for example, in Ocarina, Ganondorf wanted to get into the Temple of Time, but he couldn't. And he wanted to get to the Master Sword, but he couldn't pull it because he can't touch the Master Sword, basically.
Right.
The
So he
Gerudo
had
aren't
to
worthy.
wait for someone. He had to wait for someone to pull it so that the power could be released, which it would then go to Ganondorf. Like his powers or whatever, his soul was like released or something like that. So I do agree that Demise is in the sword, So I'm guessing his full, I guess, spirit is still trapped in it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I think with this, the way the Master Sword looks, at least in this clip, he's out.
Oh yeah, no, I don't doubt
This is
that. I
busted
just mean
enough
like
that the
part
whole
of it
thing
has
is
definitely been released throughout the games though.
Oh,
Every
yeah,
time,
I see what
yes,
you're
every
saying.
time the Master Sword gets pulled from the pedestal, because that's when it gets sealed.
And it slowly weakened. Like the Master Sword was chipped in Breath of the Wild. Like
Very.
it had the
damaged.
little chips and dents and all kinds of stuff in it. So the precedent is there that
Right,
they're
but then when he pulled it out,
breaking this
it
sword.
restored. Remember?
That's true.
You
So-
forget that.
No, I didn't forget. I was thinking about that because when you pull it, yeah, it's back to normal. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think Demise is definitely out though. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think
No
he's
doubt about
the
it.
big bad of this game. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
But that
I'm
kind
switching
of,
trailers
if that's
again.
the case, then it kind of upsets me. Because
Why?
I want to see like more Ganondorf fights. Because for a lot of Zelda games, just fighting a pig man.
Well, that's true.
I want to.
Did you
I
play
want to
Wind
see.
Waker? Did you play Ocarina of Time?
Yes.
Did
and
you
you're still
play
fighting a
Twilight
pig man.
Princess?
You're still fighting a pig man in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, at the end
only
of it, you play
only
on
as
the
the
first part of it.
final boss though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you realize that's his form when he uses
That's
the
Ganon.
Triforce. That's the Triforce of Power.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I feel like having Ganondorf more would be interesting.
I mean, Twilight Princess does really well with that. With
Oh,
his
yeah,
final
definitely.
fight. Yeah,
But even if it was Demise, it wouldn't be like a pig version of Demise. It would be, I would assume it would be Demise from Skyward Sword. That is his original, like what his original form was.
yeah.
So I'd assume it would look like that. Or they'll just go the route of like, oh, Ganondorf now has the full power of the Demise's curse, and it's actually Ganondorf who's gonna end it all. Point being, I think this is the final game in the timeline. I think
Oh, for
the
sure.
way that it feels like they're setting this up, especially with that symbol, like the two dragons chasing each other, that is the Ouroboros, which is the whole point of the Ouroboros is it's an endless cycle. So it seems like that's the route they're going of we're going to break this endless cycle, and that's what we're doing in this game. So yeah, I think this is the end of the timeline, and in 2028, 5 years after, we'll have a new Zelda game with a new Link in Zelda, and it will be completely set. Like they're gonna just hard reset the timeline and do something completely different.
Will this Link get down on one knee and put a ring on it this time?
No, because Nintendo's afraid of commitment.
You said it was two dragons, right?
Yeah.
An Ouroboros has one.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Is it the
because-
one?
So Ouroboros, it has a It's basically, I forget. Let me. I'm gonna just read the meaning.
It's like this. It's the snake eating its own tail, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It can't be two dragons. It has to be one because I know it has a meaning behind it, but
You know what'd be funny?
It's basically eating itself. Like
Right.
It's screwing itself over.
Ridiculous idea for a Zelda game. Have a story about Ganondorf. He gives up on trying to take over Hyrule, and he just plots to take over Gerudo Village.
Well, that wouldn't be that hard.
Because he was
That'd be
born
a
there.
spin-off.
Well-
He's done that in every game, though.
Remember,
No, he just
I guess-
forgets taking over Hyrule, because Link kicks his ass every time.
No, remember.
Well, yeah, but
remember
that's what he
Ganondorf's origin.
Yeah, he is
Because after
Gerudo.
Skyward Sword comes Ocarina, Ganondorf was born in Gerudo Valley, and he was the king of the Gerudos. Because only
Yeah.
one male can be born and be king
every 100 years.
every 100 years.
That's
But-
the other really interesting thing is in Breath of the Wild, we don't get that. We don't see that we don't
Urbosa's-
see that Gerudo male. It's inferred by Urbosa that, like, there's a fleeting line of dialogue after you finish that Divine Beast where she's like, it was once said that Calamity Ganon used to take the shape of a Gerudo, which, I don't know, we never see that. I don't know if
was
it's a
referring-
fleeting
she
line
Did
of
I forget
dialogue.
that or something?
She was referring to Ocarina of Time.
Man, I forgot that. Dang, I hate myself for that now.
Would she be referring to Ocarina of Time, or assuming that this is Ganondorf underneath, we're presuming Hyrule Castle in the first trailer?
I mean,
I
Would she
wanna
be
s-
referring to
I
that?
I kinda
think
wanna
she's
assume
referring to
Ocarina.
Ocarina because I know the Gerudo were like, the Gerudo take pride in their history and traditions, so it makes sense that they would quite literally pass down that, even that far back.
Right.
Whereas,
Well, isn't,
whereas Hyrule has changed locations so much, they've lost history. Wind Waker proves that.
Definitely.
Yeah,
The whole
because of the Great Flood.
exactly, and like a whole kingdom was, and the people on above sea were, I mean, the only kind of tradition that was kept was the tradition of the hero.
Yeah. Wouldn't shoot, what was I gonna say? Isn't Twilight Princess Ganondorf, timeline wise, isn't he the same Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time? If I remember correctly, because of where Ocarina of Time,
Oh, yeah,
like,
no, it
the way
comes-
it splits,
Yeah, it comes
Because
Twilight
that's the
Princess comes
Ganondorf
after,
that, like,
yeah.
he tried to take over, they executed him and banished him to the Twilight Realm, and then he came back. And I think that's the only time they've used the same villain.
Well, no.
for
So
two
Twilight Princess actually comes after Majora's Mask. And Majora's
Which
Mask.
would still be using the same Ganondorf.
Right. So Majora's Mask is the timeline where Link is sent back in time, actually.
Yeah, he's sent back in time to warn them of what's going to happen, and then they catch him.
exactly. So it very well could be the same Ganon, but I don't want to fully agree because I kind of doubt it too. Because the theory for Twilight Princess is that, remember the oh my gosh, the guy where you learn all the special skills from, the sword
Oh
skills?
yeah, the hero,
What game?
the fallen hero or whatever.
Yeah, that is the Link from Majora's Mask.
I thought that was the Link from Ocarina of Time.
No.
Adult Link
I
from
mean,
Ocarina of
yes,
Time.
because Link from Ocarina of Time is the same in
Is the-
Majora's Mask, which is the
yeah.
same is in Twilight Princess for the fallen hero. Because, oh my god, there's also a theory for Majora's Mask where technically Majora's Mask,
Is that the Link is dead?
Link, yeah, there's Matt Pet's theory on
Yeah,
the Link
that
is
was
dead.
disproved though, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I thought that was debunked. I think that one was debunked.
Right. Either
And I think
way,
Eiji Aonuma said that's not true.
oh yeah. So, but either way, the point is that Link gets lost in the Lost Woods, and what happens to
Right.
people that get lost? They become
die.
lost souls. Exactly. So that's why you get in Twilight Princess.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. There's a lot of.
So, I'm just looking at these trailers over again.
Yeah, you're looking
want to
them
play
up,
this
yeah.
game so bad.
Okay,
No doubt.
I've been waiting to actually bring this up because I was like, okay, so when we got the very first trailer for at the time, everybody was like Breath of the Wild 2. The one with like the
Jiffy.
creepy music in the beginning and like the suspense. So, after that came out, did you guys ever see posts of people talking about rehydrated Ganon?
Yeah. Rehydrate again and big meme. Big
Yo,
meme.
rehydrated Ganon. Wow.
What a
wow.
lad, really.
What? Yeah. What a Chad.
I really like the idea. I've seen a lot of theories that like, oh, this
I
is
love
underneath
the
Hyrule
idea.
Castle, and like the Hylian royal family was willingly farming all of the malice to to power all the Sheikah stuff. I think it would be really interesting if they subverted the trope of like the Hylians are the good guys, and like the Sheikah are the good guys because they were intentionally hiding and sealing and keeping this Ganondorf down here.
Well, that makes sense because the Sheikah do have a dark history.
Because also it would make logical sense because if let's assume that the Sheikah and like the Hylian royal family know about the cycle of reincarnation. So the thought would be, well, if we essentially keep this Ganondorf in like comatose or like flirting with the line of dead, like we're keeping him alive, but he's not active, then you would prevent that cycle of reincarnation. But I think that's where the malice comes from, because I'm looking at this first trailer, like one of the first shots. You can see all this malice gooping out from Ganondorf, and that's where the malice in the first game came from. Is it's like this trying to break out and weaken and all this stuff so he can break out. And then obviously, you know, you seal Calamity Ganon, and that was really just a puppet all along. Like that wasn't the real Ganondorf. And now the one down here, they somehow, Link and Zelda somehow end up breaking the seal because they're kids who tamper with stuff that shouldn't be tampered with.
Zelda did it.
Listen, she did. She was just too curious and was like, what does this button do? Oh, I've awakened the ultimate evil. Yikes. Uh-oh. That's
or maybe
not
there was a
good.
pot on top of the button and Link was like,
And Link was like, gotta smash.
yeah!
So.
Oh, I sealed
I don't know. I think
Hyrule's demise.
That's true. So I think it would be really interesting if they subverted the trope and it was like, yeah, they willingly knew he was down here and just decided to leave him there because they're like, well, if he's there forever, then he can't reincarnate and kill us.
Despite
He'll
him
stay alive.
I
despite him
like that,
doing that
to
like
be
multiple
honest.
times.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to ask. Do you guys think, and I'm going to ask, okay, that's kind of a twofold question. Do you think there is going to be 3 playable sections? Like, do you think they're really going to, because in order to justify people buying this game and the 6-year development cycle,
Oh, yeah.
they're going to have to justify, which I mean, there's an argument to be made. The game is done right now. They're just like polishing or working on DLC or whatever. Like they could have released it this year, but they just didn't because they're like, well, you know, we got enough coming out anyway.
You've waited
Dev
this
team
long.
can use the extra time. Like you guys can wait a few more months. Like it's okay. So do you think there will be like an underground, like above ground and then a sky? Or do you think the above ground and the sky is all we're getting?
I think there will be an underground because it's still the same map. Well, not the same because I'm assuming there's going to be whatever. But you know what I mean.
Right.
It's still the same Hyrule land. So it wouldn't make sense to not allow you to go underground.
Why show off something
Right.
that people can't explore?
Exactly. Then it wouldn't
Exactly.
really be open, you know?
Yeah, it's in the underground is in the first trailer, which seems like that's the start of the game because Link's arm's not messed up, the Master Sword's not messed up, which that's the weird part is we don't know. Which to be fair, we
How
don't
it
know
gets
enough
there.
about this game.
Oh, yeah, no.
We know jack squat about this game, like so.
And that's
I
what I
see.
like.
Which I don't, because I don't know anything about this game.
I don't want too much to be shown because otherwise I'll have like a puzzle already built in my head. Not like fully of like what's happening, but I'll have like more of an understanding. I like to be surprised.
Well,
That's
honestly,
true.
what they've shown so far has been, you know, still like a mystery, to be honest, because we're talking about it. We're like, how does he get the arm thing? What about the sword? Like, how does this all get here? Like, we're still questioning a lot of things. Like, there's definitely not enough to piece together at all.
Right. I will say, I think, one, the most recent trailer, am I glad we got a title and a date? Yes. but it didn't feel like that's what they wanted to show. Like, it felt, compared to the other two trailers, it was like, here's some murals on the wall, and now here's some gameplay, and now here's a title and a date. Whereas the other ones were very intentional in what they showed. Like, the first one is like, okay, well, we're going to build the intrigue. What are Link and Zelda doing in this cave? Oh my gosh, we're building suspense. And then, oh, Hyrule Castle's getting warped up into the air, and then it's over. And then the second one is like, oh, well, we're back underground, and all these flashing images, and Zelda's falling, and oh, now Link's in the sky, and all this stuff. And then the third one is just like mural gameplay title, and that's it.
This is, so what they do is visual storytelling. So that's, you gotta look at it that way. So we have 3 now. Maybe they'll make a 4th one, but I don't know. So let's just say for now they have the 3. Act 1, 2, and 3. Look at it that way.
I mean,
it's visual storytelling. And then the third one, it's, they were like, look at the first 2. They're like, maybe they would have been like, I think we've told enough. Let's not show anymore. Because remember, Alex, you were saying, I don't want to be shown so much that I could piece together stuff. So, of course, the third trailer is not going to show any more than what we've already seen.
Right. They could, I mean, there is a very, like, they could honestly go from now till May 12th without showing anything else. And they've got, I would say, an instant 10 million sales. Like, the hype for this game is through the roof. I would be shocked if it, like at the Game Awards in December, if it does not win Most Anticipated Game of 2023.
Oh, it better.
I would be shocked.
I'm...
It should have won last year, but I think the only reason it didn't win last year is because it didn't have a title and they didn't have anything to show.
True.
And when Elden Ring won, it's because it was official that it was coming out in February, and they also had a new trailer to show.
I still gotta play that.
I'm also gonna, hop on the train if maybe we get another trailer at the Game Awards, and that's why this one was kind of lacking, is because they just kind of wanted to put the title out there, so that way when it inevitably wins Most Anticipated Game of 2023, they can say, and the winner is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, instead of saying, and the winner is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild that we still don't have a title for, coming at some day in 2023. So I think we get another trailer there, maybe. If not, we're not getting another trailer until like February.
I don't think
March,
there's going to be
maybe.
another trailer. I really don't think they should push it to 4 trailers, because 3, they still showed new stuff, like with the doors opening where it's like underground, and we see some more details, and we're like, what is, but so it has some new details for, I guess, story stuff, but it does show more gameplay than the other 2, which is also nice. Like, some people are like, how's the gameplay gonna work, or whatever, or what's new.
I mean, here's what I'll say. I think at minimum we get 2 more trailers. If we get hear me out. If we get a trailer that, because you can go back and look at the trailers they did for Breath of the Wild. I think at the Game Awards, if we get one there, it's like a 2-minute gameplay trailer. No story elements, no nothing. It is just showcasing gameplay, because that is something they have not done enough. Because here's the thing. There's us, the diehards, who are going to buy this game regardless. But there are also 24 million people who bought the first game, and they want to bring over as many of those people into this game as possible. And these 3 trailers, I don't think, do that for the general public. To get a general, more casual Zelda fan, you have to give them a reason and justify why they're going to spend $60 on this game that is using the same world and the same characters from a game that I already own. So, I think we get a 2-3-minute gameplay trailer, and then before the game comes out, much like the first game, we get a 4-minute story trailer that has like the super bombastic like music and everything, and then that's it.
Okay, see,
and then they don't show anything else.
When you put it like that, then yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all, especially right before like it comes out, and they have, almost like I don't know what to call it. I forget English,
Like a blowout?
No. Well, you were saying story, like, not a summary. You know what I mean?
Oh, like a story trailer.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, you're right.
Is this a story overview, I guess?
It's like something with Impa talking. You know?
It's the same as that other trailer for Breath of the Wild, which I will regard as one of the greatest video game trailers of all time.
Which one?
It's unparalleled. Still gives me chills. It's hold on. I have it in my favorites playlist. It's here. I'll send the link to the show notes on Discord. You'll see it and you'll know which trailer it is. It's from the Switch presentation that they did in 2017 when they were unveiling the Switch. And they needed like something to close out that presentation, and they were like, "All right,
yes,
here's 4 minutes of Breath of the Wild."
I remember this. The opening.
It's beautiful.
You're just like, wow. It's really the scenery that really is just like, wow. Kind of like when you open the game for the first time, and you're going through the Shrine of Resurrection, and then you exit. It's just light at first, and then that cinematic opener. It literally gave me chills.
Yeah. So I think we get another trailer like that, and then that's it. There might be some like they'll do some Twitter drops of like, here's a new item, or here's what the like. Are they gonna change the UI? Is the UI for the menu gonna look completely different? Like, oh, we're carrying over your save data from Breath of the Wild. Like, if you got all 900 Korok seeds, then, you get to have them all in the second game. Like, I think there'll be, like, small stuff like that, but they'll veer away from doing too much story stuff. They don't like doing too much story stuff.
If they actually was like, if you collected all 900 Korok seeds, and you want to trade over...
To do it again.
The piece... the golden piece of crap that you get.
What if it was you had to go 100% Breath of the Wild in order to get all that, in order to transfer it? Oh, you didn't collect it. Oh, you found all the shrine. You found all 120 shrines. And you got
not good enough.
You maxed out the Link screen set that we give you in the game, and no, you have to waste tens of hours just to get the Korok seeds. I don't have that much patience.
Well, that was frustrating about Age of Calamity. Is in Age of Calamity you have to find all the Korok seeds to 100% the game, and it really pissed me off.
Oh, I'm not trying that.
Because I 100%ed the game.
That's it.
Except for the DLC. I didn't 100% the DLC. I 100%ed the base game.
I mean, the Koroks are, they're adorable in the game, but
they're somehow still alive.
You actually can't play Tears of the Kingdom. Like, the Switch will physically not let you play the game if you haven't gotten all 999 Korok seeds.
No, the seal...
Like, you can buy the game, but you can't play it.
No, the seal asks you, hey, did you 100% Breath of the Wild? No. Oh.
No.
They were turning the plastic into titanium. You ain't breaking this thing open.
Yeah, sorry. Insert the cartridge again when you've gotten all 999 Korok seeds. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Wow.
Or you can pay another $60 to bypass it. That's something EA would do. Honestly.
Yeah, Nintendo and
like,
EA, they're not torturing us that badly. Whereas EA, if they owned life, you would have to pay to open a door.
That's true. You would have to pay to breathe.
EA.
Sorry, but we capitalized on oxygen, so you have to pay us to breathe.
Yeah, the Lorax.
Nick, I'm so sorry.
What?
You didn't hear? You're gonna hear in my audio.
No, I didn't hear.
You're gonna hear it in my audio.
Wait, what did you do? Did you swear again?
Well, since you're editing, yeah, I said shit.
Ah, you said it again.
Was that really what it was?
It's okay.
It's just because I love the sound
That's
effects. Oh my god, if you use different sound effects every time, it's hilarious.
See, those words are okay.
Just because
those get to slide
doesn't mean we like to use them.
See, the F word's not okay. Because think about it like a film rating. Like in a PG-13 movie, you can swear, but you only get one F-bomb for it to be okay. If you get more than one F-bomb, it goes up to rated R. So that's what I'm saying. Is like, as long as you don't drop the F-bomb, we've already established this is a more T for teen type show.
You're right.
So it's okay.
That's true. We have said
but-
I have said Link's arm gets decapitated or something.
Link's arm gets die.
Gets die.
So
Link's arm goes to sleep forever.
Does anyone have any other thoughts? Because I have 3 closing thoughts, or like 3 closing prompts. Because we're at an hour 18. Honestly, if this was a 2-hour episode, I wouldn't be upset. I would listen to the whole thing anyway. Because it's Zelda. People are making like hour-long videos on YouTube just talking about the title of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like people will listen to Zelda content all day.
Dedication,
So-
I guess.
If anybody has any rabbit trails they want to go down, because I feel like I got a whole rabbit trail that I
About
could
the
go
game?
down. Well,
Or about Zelda
yes
in
and
general.
no. I mean, I was gonna go down the Switch Pro
Oh.
rabbit trail. People hate it. They're like, "Oh my god, you're talking about Switch Pro again," and I'm like, "Well, you know what? If they were gonna do it, now's the time to do it." That's all
It's
I'm
kind
saying.
of something we need, especially for a big game like this.
The Switch will be 6 years old when this game comes out. Like, that's all I'm going to say. It's going to be 6 years old, and all we've gotten is the Switch Lite and the Switch OLED. That's it. So I feel like a Switch Pro has to be around the corner, or even like whatever their next gen console is.
Plot
Has
twist.
to be around the corner.
Plot twist, the
know
Switch
how
will
you
last
could
longer
top-
than the Game Boy did.
Actually, no. The one thing I would want them to legit fix, I guess, hardware-wise, is the drifting. I hate it.
Oh, they can't fix it.
Then
Because if they fix it, that
change
would be acknowledging.
the console.
Well, here's the thing. They can't fix it. Well, yes, they can fix it, but they can't mention that they fixed it, because if they mention that they fixed it, it would then be acknowledging that it was a problem, and they would lose every single lawsuit that's ever been brought against them about Joy-Con drift,
So then how
which
come
they're not going
you
to do,
can
because that's
but
hundreds
then-
of thousands of dollars.
But then how come you can actually send in your Switch to get fixed? Like Nintendo
Because that
Nintendo
is
sent
different.
that out.
Because
That's
malfunction.
different. They're not acknowledging that it's broken. You can claim that it's broken and send it in, and they'll look at it and they'll fix it if it's broken.
Oh.
But they won't tell you that it's broken. It's I don't know if that's how it works, but there's something different between you sending it in to be fixed and suing them for Joy-Con drift.
It's like Apple.
Those are two
with
different
their-
things. Yeah.
With their
Yeah,
batteries.
kind of, actually.
It's like,
It wouldn't be
your
the first
battery's
time.
broken. Maybe you should get a whole new phone.
It wouldn't be
Yeah,
the
actually
first
just
time
buy
this-
the whole new iPhone.
We don't know how to fix the battery. We do.
It wouldn't be the first time Nintendo mentioned that, oh, we knew about this problem, because when the Switch was originally released, dead pixels were a thing, and Nintendo even acknowledged, oh no, this is not a defect of the Switch, this is just normal.
Yeah, this is intentional, actually. It's
yeah,
so
we
we
want
should
you to
buy a
have
new
dead
console.
pixels on your Switch.
Even though there's none on shelf. There were no Switches. Like, I didn't see Switches readily available on shelves until 2019. Like, January 2019 was when I
And
finally
this-
started seeing them readily on shelves.
This is why my dad and I pre-ordered.
Oh, I would have pre-ordered, but I was like 15 and I didn't have a job.
Neither did
So
I.
I didn't have the money.
Oh, well,
So
my
I
dad
had-
did it, so, because we would have been the same age, so yeah, that makes sense.
I had
And
to
I had an
rely on finding
Xbox, so
one
I wasn't
myself.
really I was in my Xbox phase. I was like, ew, Nintendo is cringe. Disgusting. And then as soon as the Switch came out and my uncle got one, I very quickly changed my tune. I'm like, whoa, the Switch is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
And there was like
so
there was
can't
this
tell
initial
with all the
period.
stuff behind you.
There was this initial period where when the Switch came out and you saw it in public, it was like this mystical object. Like it was a rare item. And you saw it like, oh my gosh, that guy on the plane has a Nintendo Switch. I've never seen one in person before. Oh my God, guys, it's real. So, yeah, but
When the Switch was still impossible to find, I kept Googling, hey, when will the Switch restock? And when I find articles
Nintendo
on
didn't
Switch
know.
restocks, I had the money, and I'm like, hey, Dad, I'll give you this money. Just please go to GameStop and get me the Switch. Come to find out, the article's a lie.
Yeah, usually is. That's the
Either
problem.
that or
I think it's funny. The PS5 is still not readily available on shelves.
Well, that's
And it's
because of
been
chip
2 years.
shortages.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's true. Nintendo also didn't try to launch a console mid-pandemic, so
What about the
That's a
Xbox
yikes.
Series X?
So the Xbox
See,
Series
that's
X,
readily available though. I could walk into GameStop and buy an Xbox right now.
well, the Xbox Series
I
X is
wanted to.
not as common as the Xbox Series S, which was the most sold console during Black Friday, actually.
Xbox should really work on their naming conventions because I don't even know what the newest one is.
It's gonna
I
be
genuinely
Z.
don't know.
The Series X.
The Series X is the newest one? The
Yes,
one that
well,
looks like a
yes.
refrigerator and they made a mini fridge? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They really embraced the meme and
I don't
made
even
the
know
Xbox
what
mini
is
fridge.
the I don't even know, like, is there anything different about the Series X from the...
It loads faster.
So
Isn't the S digital only?
Yes, the S is digital only.
Yeah, there's your difference.
And also
By
it
the
only
way,
has
screw
512
digital consoles, by the way. Like, screw digital only consoles. When your games are like 70 gigabytes and you're only putting like 500 gigabytes
Yeah, the Series S is
like
only
based on the
500
console.
The Series S is only 512 gigabytes, and yet it's digital only. What are you expecting players to do? Oh, we just want you to spend extra money, like $130 on a hard drive. Even though your
on a
games
2
will run
terabyte hard drive that's gonna fill up super quick because the games are like 80 gigabytes.
and it's slow because it's a hard disk.
I mean, I have a micro SD for my Switch, but that's also why I buy 90% of my games cartridge because I don't want to take up the space, and also I like having the cases
Even
and the
though-
physical cartridge.
Doesn't it technically still take up space, but not as much?
It does, but like the digital version of Xenoblade is like 10 gigabytes, but the cartridge one is like 500 megabits.
Oh,
So it's a real big difference there. So yeah, Zelda, anyone? That was a really good rabbit trail. I'm just saying Switch Pro is coming soon.
Oh my
I'll
gosh,
die
we're
on
gonna
this
get
hill.
nah, plot
we're gonna
twist.
get so many hate comments from that.
It's
Nah,
okay.
plot twist
Send
for-
Here's
them
the
all
thing.
to Nick, guys. Send them all to Nick, not us.
Here's the thing about hate comments, though,
Their fuel.
is the people who complain that you're talking about Switch Pro still clicked on the video, gave me the view, and the engagement from leaving a comment.
Oh, that's true.
So you can leave your nasty comment. You can sit there and say it's so dumb that you're talking about Switch Pro, but you gave me your view. You gave me a like or a dislike, which is still interaction and engagement, and you left a mean comment, which still engagement. So I really come out on top here.
Plot twist.
I thrive off of
I
people's
mean,
rage.
we all do, because I talked positively about Skyward Sword. I'm gonna get people that are be like,
I talk
Skyward
that's
Sword
getting
positively
clipped.
actually
We're gonna
sucks.
get canceled.
I talk positively about Zelda 2.
And there's gonna be people who don't like Zelda too. They're like, sir.
But
Sir?
actually, plot twist
dare
about
you?
Tears of the Kingdom. It requires its own dedicated Switch to play. You have
There's
to buy a
already
whole new
haters for
Switch to
Tears of the
play it.
Kingdom.
Speaking of Tears of the Kingdom, we're fair. I know we mentioned it in the last episode we recorded. We're all fairly confident we're getting a Tears of the Kingdom, at least in an OLED, right?
Oh, like the
a
with the
themed
console?
Switch
Oh yeah.
console
It
for Tears of the
has
Kingdom?
to. We
There's
have
no
to.
way they don't. They did it for Splatoon. They did it for Pokemon.
We have to get one.
There's no way.
Exactly.
There was a Mario themed Switch last year, and there was an Animal Crossing one the year before. There was a Monster Hunter Switch Lite. There was a Pokemon Switch Lite last year. Needless to say, they've done themed consoles before.
Yes.
And I think the only reason they haven't done a Zelda one is because when the Switch initially launched, they didn't know how it was going to sell, so they weren't going to put out a Zelda one to kick it off. So I think now that they know, okay, well, 24 million people bought Breath of the Wild, and there's a lot of people who haven't upgraded to the OLED yet, and we could double. We could. They'd be tripling in on me. Like they're like, we could get some double, triple dippers to buy this Zelda themed Switch. Like.
To fix the Breath of the Wild themed accessories, they gave us the carrying cases, as you can see Melina has in the background, and mine is sitting on
I have that exact same case, but it's gray.
Mine's blue.
So
the blue is actually really rare.
That was I really hope that for this game they do all of the same stuff they did for Breath of the Wild with like the Masters Collector Edition and all of the amiibo and the carrying cases and like all that stuff. I really want them to just go above and beyond so that they can just siphon all $700 they're going to get out of me.
So I have to say I love this guidebook because the pages
are golden.
They're golden. This is a collector's edition, I think.
Golden book, golden pages, golden cartridges.
Exactly. But yeah, so I know.
That's
Speaking of golden cartridges, actually, so
I actually have golden cartridges of Zelda.
I have the golden holographic cartridge of Majora's Mask, and I actually went into a store one day for retro games, and it was in a case, and it was like $60 or $80 that they were selling it for, and I was like, I already have that. I'm like, imagine what it's gonna be years later.
Meanwhile, me like holding like an NES a retro Nintendo collection that's probably worth thousands.
Nick!
Can't relate.
What? Did I miss some?
Can't relate.
I mean, he's responding to you, but I said, Nick.
What?
I did curse.
Did I miss that or something?
When Nick said nerd, I said shut the up.
Oh, it's okay. If I didn't hear it, that means I won't hear it in editing. Which means it'll slip through, which means nobody else can hear it. It's okay. Can we all agree? Have you guys seen the box art for Tears of the Kingdom?
It's
like the official cover art. It's so damn clean. Like it is just beautiful. It's gonna look so nice on my shelf next to like, which by the way, I pre-ordered mine already. I think we've all pre-ordered, right?
No.
Yes. Well,
wait, I thought you said you pre-ordered.
No, remember I said if it comes with an OLED package that I would get it.
oh, that's right. We suggested to her that she should wait until the OLED package comes out.
See, but I did that though. Like, I get that. And I only put $5 down at GameStop because that's the minimum. I'm reserving a copy.
So you're going to have 2 copies, basically.
But no, because when they inevitably announce the OLED, which I don't think it'll be a bundle. I think it'll be, there's
just
a game.
Just a console.
There's an OLED, there's a console. Because, and I think the console will come out at the beginning of May. Because the Splatoon 3 OLED came out a week and a half before Splatoon 3 did, and the Pokemon one is coming out like a week and a half before Pokemon. And I'm assuming that's so that if you ordered it online, it has time to ship and get there, and you can transfer everything before you get the game. Which, but not to side tangent, but the feeling of opening a new console and like transferring everything over is just such like a, I don't know how to put it. It's such an uplifting experience.
Okay, you lost me at transferring, but opening a console, yes.
I can't relate.
Opening it, what? You don't like sitting there and letting everything transfer automatically for 5 hours?
Well, no, I haven't had to do that.
For me.
Oh, that's right.
For me, I lost all my data. I had to restart.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Well, you said like the most probable cause because I didn't have Switch Online at the time, even though I transferred everything on my micro SD card.
So, yeah, Nintendo's weird about that. They need to get better at that. Specifically, I should not have to pay $20 a month to save all my, or $20 a year to save all of my data to the cloud.
I was so mad about that because I already found all the shrines, completed the Champions Ballad. What is that? What it's called? The DLC.
Yeah.
I have the Master Sword upgraded, and just to do it all again, spend multiple hours. And with Pokemon Sword, I lost the shiny code mystery gift Pokemon. And I'm like, Why? Why do I have to be tortured like this? Why do I have to restart my journey?
Well, think about it this way. You get to play through Breath of the Wild again before Tears of the Kingdom comes out.
Well, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true.
which my pledge to myself is that the only 2 Zelda games I haven't finished on Switch is Link's Awakening and the Hyrule Warriors, the first one. So I'm going to finish those and finish... I have a 3-heart run going on Breath of the Wild.
Ooh, nice.
And I finish all of that before Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which I'll probably start doing that in January because I kind of got like games picked out for the rest of the year.
See, Nick, though, you gotta do a 3-heart run on Master Mode.
That's a good point, actually.
Exactly, because I did that.
See, the problem is I already have a Master Mode file though.
Then make a
That's
new...
something I want them to add in Tears of the Kingdom.
They're going
You know
to.
how like in Skyward Sword, you can have multiple files
Yeah.
on one thing? You can't
Oh,
do
you
that in
mean
Breath
like
of the Wild.
that?
Yeah, no, I want to be able to have multiple save files under one user profile.
Oh, yeah, that.
Because
yeah.
like to start my 3-heart run, I had to make another user profile and I have to pick that one. Which when I do that, it then doesn't count towards my hours in Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever my main profile says,
Right.
you know, I have X amount of hours, and then I have to go to the other one and be like, okay, well now I have 55 over here, which if you add them together, it's like over 400, and it gets really weird and sticky. So like, you know, sticky. Maybe sticky was the wrong word.
That, yeah,
It's
no.
really messy.
Again.
Messy. It gets really messy.
Nick really loves his game.
Stop it.
Okay. Well, question that none of you probably ever heard of, but any of you name another Zelda game where Link uses a sword left-handed besides Hyrule Warriors?
Wait, no. He uses his sword left-handed in every game except for Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild, in which he uses them with his right hand.
That must be dumb because I've only
think.
ever noticed it in Hyrule Warriors.
Is he right-handed in Hyrule Warriors? Well, I know he's right-handed in Age of Calamity because
in the
he's
original,
right-handed
he's
in Breath of the
left-handed.
Wild.
Link is left-handed.
He's left-handed except for Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. I know because I've watched enough theory videos where that's like their main point as to like some weird odd connection they're making is like, oh, well, he's only right-handed in these 2 games. What does that mean?
It means he's ambidextrous.
Yeah, it means they
He
flipped
just loves
a coin.
experimenting.
Like I like to believe that inside the Zelda team, they're making a new game, and they're like, okay, guys, we need to decide if Link is left-handed or right-handed. Flip a coin. Heads, it's left. Tails, it's right. Oh, we got heads again. All right, he's left-handed this game.
Meanwhile, in games like Zelda 2, he's switching. Oh no, I'm turning left. I gotta change my shield and my sword.
Yeah, just gotta like completely jumble up the gear.
Meanwhile, an Octorok is attacking him.
Melina, what are you looking up over there? Are you trying to fact check us on
You really
the
got me with the
left-hand or right-hand?
left-handed. Yeah, you really got me with that. So there's multiple things.
Miss
here.
me with that handed.
Looking
There's
at
multiple
the
things
8-bit
here
Link.
there's this post in 2021 for they added Link to be left-handed in Skyward Sword HD for the Switch.
Oh, that's right, because you can switch the Joy-Cons.
Oh,
Yes.
because it's the same button.
And you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that in the original.
No.
Because you can
Exactly.
switch if you're left-handed or right-handed.
So in Breath of the Wild, he's right-handed. He made Link right-handed because doing so jives better with the game's controls.
That's true.
Let's see. This one was
Because
2020.
you just press Y.
Yeah.
This is 2020. So Link is one of the most well-known characters in all of video games. He's also one of the few characters who is left-handed in most of his titles, except for The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess for the Wii.
Wait, he's right-handed in Twilight Princess too?
Well, in Twilight Princess on the Wii, the world is mirrored. I believe.
But
You
that
mean
wouldn't make
in
him
HD,
right-handed.
you
That would
mean?
still make him left-handed.
No, on just the original
Wait,
the
wait,
Wii
wait, wait, wait,
version,
wait, wait,
not
wait,
the
wait,
Wii
wait,
U. Not.
Wait. I
There's-
think we've... hold on.
There's 3 different versions of Twilight Princess. There's the GameCube, which is the original. There's the Wii, which I hated. and there was the Wii U version, which was just HD.
Wait.
I know this because I'm a sad nerd.
Wait, he is right-handed in Twilight Princess. Because it says right here, Link was primarily left-handed throughout the history of The Legend of Zelda until he started swinging his sword with his right in Twilight Princess. So, wait. Hold on.
I brought up
Hold
a
on.
good question.
Hear me out. Hear me out. We're going to the sky in Tears of the Kingdom. Link was right-handed in Skyward Sword.
Uh-huh.
We might be going back to the Twilight Realm based on the way the sword looks in the logo.
Uh-huh.
Link was right-handed in Twilight Princess.
Uh-huh.
Do we see a connection here?
A little
I'm just
bit.
saying. It's kind of like, it's a crazy conspiracy theory. But like, right-handed Links, maybe they're somehow connected compared to the left-handed Links. It's like, it's super out there. And like, I don't know. I mean, there's also an article that says Eiji Onuma said it's because it's better with the controls, which Melina had mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. They were like, well, we're moving more towards like Xbox style controllers, and you're just gonna mash Y to do attacks. So maybe that's why he's right-handed now. But I don't know. Who's to say? Well, there
But
were
no.
games like on the 3DS where he was left-handed.
Canonically though, like for canon, he is left-handed though. Story reasons.
Except for the story games where he's right-handed.
Okay,
and
I'm
he's seen
saying
using
though,
swords
I'm
in his
saying,
right
though, for his
hand
character.
in those games.
Nick. I'm saying
Melina, no,
for
I
his,
get it. I see what you're saying.
But
you
he's
can't
right-handed
deny
in the
that in
games to help
Skyward
with the
Sword.
controls, okay?
Okay, but in the cutscenes for Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild, he uses his sword with his right hand. They're not changing the cutscene for him to use his left hand because he's always left-handed in every game, but we're going to make it on the right for when you're actually playing. No, it's just set up that way.
We know this.
All
The
I'm
fate
saying.
of Hyrule Kingdom is
All I'm
dependent.
saying.
The fate of Hyrule Kingdom is depending on whether he's left-handed or right-handed.
Yes.
Wait, you use your sword left-handed? You monster! That's the reason we're done. You're using it right-handed.
Imagine
you
that's the
evil
choice.
witch.
When you start out the game, like, do you want to be left-handed or right-handed? It doesn't matter. It literally has no effect on the story, but it's your choice. We want to let you feel like you're choosing something.
Meanwhile,
And then
like,
they
well,
make it effective in the
meanwhile,
story.
Hey, Gianuma, thank you.
Meanwhile, in the overhead 8-bit games, he only has one hand. Switches
That's
shield
true.
and sword.
Well, that's different.
That's a whole different.
He was
Link right there.
left-handed. He was left-handed in Ocarina of Time, right?
Yes.
I haven't played it in a while. I want to plug in my N64
Yes.
again.
I need to boot up my 3DS. I wish I had a hand grip for the 3DS because my hands are too big
A
to
hand
comfortably
grip for
use
the 3DS.
3DS. My hands are too big to comfortably use the 3DS, okay?
That sounds like a you problem.
Screw off. Screw off. Leave me alone. So we're way past an hour and a half, but that's okay. Well, I say way past. We're at an hour and 40 minutes.
Dang.
But my last bit of closing news, and I want to get your thoughts on this.
Mm.
Do you think that it's possible that Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm not going to say anything until you guys comment. I'll let you guys go first. Do you guys think that Tears of the Kingdom is the second game in a trilogy? Like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, third game. And it's a trilogy with the same Link, the same Zelda, the same world. Could they get away with using the same world a third time? Maybe not. But there might be a good story justification as to why they're doing that. But I'd like to hear your thoughts. Do you think like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are a two and done deal, or is there a third game somewhere down the line?
Real quick.
I'll let Melina go first.
Well, thought just popped into my head. Do you want to leave that to the viewers to discuss in the comments.
Well, no, I'll put a poll, or I'll put a question in the description. I keep forgetting to mention that at the beginning of the episode because that's how you drive people to do it. Is if you mention it. So on Spotify, there will be a question in the description, and that'll be the question. It'll be a poll or a question or whatever. Do you think this is a trilogy or a duology?
Cool, yeah. Okay, but no, Alex, you go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I would want to say it's going to be two games and done, because if we take a look at like previous Zelda games that showed like a time that showed like it's at the same timeline, then just jumps to some different. We had Zelda 1, Zelda 2 on the NES. Well, Link to the Past was like, what was it, the only SNES Zelda game? I don't know.
think so.
And then, but for the Game Boy, there was Link's Awakening and like Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Seasons. And then, no, that's it. Those are like the only examples I have. Because on the GameCube, there was Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, which were completely different types of Zelda games.
Wait, so is the argument you're making we won't get a third game because
Correct.
there have only been 2 games per console?
That would be my theory. I know it's a stupid theory, but that's all I came up with.
I mean, I think that's a fair point, but I would also argue that the third game would be on whatever their new console is. Like, I don't think we're gonna go another 5 years with Switch, and then there'd be a third game. Like, it would be the selling point for a 4K Switch or whatever.
4K Switch.
Switch 4K. I'm calling it. That's what it's gonna be called. It's the Switch 4K.
Our room is about to become space heaters now.
Yeah, pretty much. Between my MacBook and a Switch 4K, I won't even need to turn on the heat in the winter.
My PS4, my PC, my MacBook. I'm gonna have
with all these lights. My room gets hot enough as it is.
I'll have the power of the sun within my hands.
Okay, Dr. Octopus. Okay, Melina, what about you?
So I say this for anything, whether it be a video game or for media. I think, for the second game, I think it is it's gonna like end it. 'Cause I don't know, if you stretch it out again and it doesn't work well, and it's just gonna be a bad way to go out, basically. Or if it's bad, they're gonna try and do another one to like make up for it or something.
And then we'll end up with 4.
Exactly. But I don't see that as a good idea. But yeah, because you two always hear me say like, I was like, to me, Endgame was the last thing, because I got so burnt out after everything.
That's true.
So I know people are gonna hate me for that, but like if you look at it statistically, they've lost a lot of money since.
They have.
Technically.
They've only been on a downward spiral.
Exactly, and it may not be a lot, but add everything up, it's a lot. So, but I get it. All these projects, whatever, media, films, TV shows, video games, it's all about the money. So I hope, I sincerely hope Nintendo doesn't go down that route of choosing money over content and decides to just go, this is, it's the last game. Like, it's been an amazing run. But this is it. It's an end of an era. A long era.
I see. Okay. Those are both very fair points. So even though I'm the one who brought it up, I think it could go either way. I think it could be, this is it. It's a 2 and done. It's the Zelda duology. This is one of the only times they've ever done a direct sequel. Like, this is an actual sequel. Like, yeah, we know Majora's Mask is a sequel, or we know Zelda 2. Well, Zelda 2 is a bad example because it is an actual direct sequel. But you get the point. Like, we know, like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, we know those are sequels. Yeah. But this is like a direct sequel. And I think It really solely depends on where the story goes. Because we have to remember, this game derived from DLC for Breath of the Wild. They were developing DLC for Breath of the Wild, and whatever kind of crack they were putting in that DLC, they were like, you know what? This is too much for one game. We're going to put it in another game, and we're going to make a whole nother game that you're going to pay $60 for. Now, I think there'll definitely be DLC for Tears of the Kingdom. Easy.
Oh, definitely.
They're going to sell you on that $30 expansion pass and add all kinds of stuff in there.
And I'm going to buy it.
But...
Same here.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Same.
Well, we all have jobs to pay for that stuff now.
Exactly. We're adults. We have jobs. We can spend adult money on...
Irresponsibly.
Things. Yeah, let's go.
Hopefully you do get the job, Nick.
Hey, I'm halfway there. I just have to finish the application tomorrow.
Halfway there.
But yeah, I think it could go either way. It really depends on where the story is at. I could see a trilogy just because they've done a Xenoblade trilogy on Switch. And, you know, they've done a Bayonetta trilogy. They've done a Splatoon trilogy. I could see them doing it because they're really getting into threes this year. Like, just this year. But, like, they're going down the trilogy
with this
route.
gen of console.
Yeah.
I want to make a point, though.
It's possible. Now, they could get away with using the same Link and Zelda, but putting them in a different environment. Like, let's go beyond Hyrule, and that's the third game. Is we're going to, like, go outside of whatever that border around the map is. And we're going to go out and do that. And maybe that's what a third game is.
And this time, you'll actually be able to play as Zelda. She's actually going to fend for herself.
Exactly. She's playable in the third game. That's how we got you.
Link dies.
Link dies. It's actually
Legit.
finally the Legend of Zelda.
And he's never spoken a word to us.
Nope. Which is a whole point. I want to go on a rant at some point about why I think Link being mute is
Iconic for him.
It needs to stop.
No.
It needs to stop.
No, then
There's
I'm going to
no-
hard disagree with you on that then.
There's no excuse. Okay.
Nick, you
Let me
don't realize.
let me finish my
Nick,
treacle.
No. Shh. You don't realize. It's gone on.
I made her
This series
angry.
has gone on so long. If you have a voice actor for Link and it's bad or it just does not fit, it's going to be hated on the most.
But Link has a voice actor, though.
Exactly, but it
But he
makes
doesn't
sense
say a
that
word.
it's part of his character that he doesn't speak. That's what makes him can you look at it that way?
doesn't
You have a
speak to the
character that has
audience.
no lines at all, and yet he's very popular in Nintendo. Like, he's one of the most popular.
He does talk, though.
He doesn't talk to the audience.
He has no voiced dialogue. Like, no
Exactly.
explicit
Like, there's no dialogue.
Like,
no dialogue.
in Breath of the Wild, though, he has dialogue speed. Like, when you're talking to NPCs and stuff, you can pick options, and that's what he's saying
Skyward Sword.
to those people.
Skyward Sword.
And also, I would say if there is any point where Link's going to talk, it's going to be Tears of the Kingdom.
I don't want to
because
hear a voice. I don't want to hear dialogue.
They talk about how... I understand. There's a lot of people who don't, and there's a lot of people who do. It's a very polarizing issue. There we go. That's the poll. That's the poll in the description. Should Link talk in Tears of the Kingdom? Yes or no?
No!
I'm going to make an argument for yes, because the arguments presented as to why he is a mute protagonist is because, it's how we link the players into the game. Okay, well, Noah from Xenoblade Chronicles
That's
3
not why
or
he's
Shulk
mute.
from
Did you read
Xenoblade.
Zelda's journal?
No. Listen, I'm talking from a gameplay perspective. I'll get to the in-game reason in a minute. But from a gameplay perspective, the reason he's quiet is because it has to be that link for the player. All of the Xenoblade protagonists are voiced, and I still, as a player, have a very strong emotional connection to those characters.
But that's Xenoblade. That's a completely different series.
I understand it's a different series. I'm saying the concept in general. There are a ton of video games where the main protagonist speaks and you can still make an emotional connection with that character. And then, the argument is like, oh, well, you don't want Link to do anything that the player wouldn't do. And I'm like, okay, but you're losing out on the story of that character. That, like, Link's character in these games is part of the reason why I wouldn't want them to kill Zelda. in Tears of the Kingdom. Because if they kill her, they're not going to then put that development into Link as a character. Because they're going to be putting that on you as the player to experience all of that emotional grief and trauma and whatever. They're not going to put it on Link. Whereas if like somebody in Xenoblade dies, the main character is going to feel that. You're going to see the main character process through those emotions. You're not going to see that in Link because he's a blank slate for the player. So I think at some point they need to get over that and they need to turn him into a real character. Does he have to talk? No. But there is an in-universe justification in Breath of the Wild for him to speak because, as you've mentioned in Zelda's diary, she talks about how pre-Calamity, he didn't talk because of all of these expectations and all of the weight and all of the pressure. He didn't talk. But, correct me if I'm wrong, he talked to her. And it was said in the diary that he talked to her and her alone. Now, post-Calamity, we see that he talks to people. Not to us, but he talks to NPCs and stuff. So I think in Tears of the Kingdom, that is your open door to make him talk. I don't know how they bring him in English, but his Japanese voice actor who does all of the grunts and actions and all of that stuff could still play him. I don't know how they do it in English. That's a completely different animal to tackle.
Yeah,
and
bring Charles Martinet.
And I can tell and I understand where you're like, if it's bad, it's ruined forever. That is totally true. And I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But I also think it's been 36 years, 37 by the time this game comes out. Link can finally have a voice. That's all I'm saying. That's my argument, and I'm sticking to it.
So I'm just gonna go. Here's the thing, because you pointed out all these other games that have voice acting. The fact that Legend of Zelda still sticks out with a character that does not speaks, ironically, a lot. That's one of the things that makes it different, is the fact that you can still connect with a character that doesn't have dialogue. That's one thing that makes it very special still. After 37 years.
That's fair.
Exactly. And of course, I said this, like, if the voice acting's bad, dear Lord. And
yeah, Nintendo's kind of screwed if it's bad.
Exactly. That's the worry. That is the biggest worry. That literally, and like, you heard, we've had rants in the group chat about voice acting, like for Genshin with certain someone. Yes, exactly. So
here's the thing. I mean, I would trust Nintendo to do it properly. It's kind of like the Mario movie. Like, you just kind of have a blind faith that they'll somehow pull it off and it'll work.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, I like that Link is, because people can still be expressive without speaking. Link proves that many times in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Especially in Skyward Sword.
Exactly. Like, there's just evidence for that he's very expressive and you can still connect with him and everything. But I also like the fact that you're able to, like you were saying, you experience his emotions from, like, the cutscenes and everything. And, you know, you still experience, I still, like, for Xenoblade, the first one, I still experience emotions, you know, with when things happen and everything. But I feel like dialogue kind of got in the way sometimes, where I couldn't, because there would be other people in the situation where it's like, it's a different emotion cutting off the main character's emotion, and it cuts me off, and I'm like, I don't have the time to switch over my emotion. I'm crying right now. Right. I'm like, let me cry. Ryan, get out.
Shut up, Ryan.
Shut up, Ryan.
It is not Ryan time right now.
It is not Ryan time. It's crying time.
Oof. Oh man, wait till you get to Xenoblade 3.
You have
Oh dear
you have
God.
crying time for a Nintendo game.
But no,
There's a Photoshop edit of the Xenoblade logo that instead of saying Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it's just Depression 3. And as someone who's finished the game, it's so true. It is so... Chapter 5 and 6 is the most depressing... It is like the most depressing thing you'll ever play.
No spoilers, please.
No spoilers. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just saying it's the most depressing thing you'll ever play.
Oh, but anyway, another point I wanted to make was your trilogy statement. You're like, I think
boy.
they're going to make trilogies and everything because they're into threes right now. And you brought up Splatoon and Xenoblade. I'm going to make this argument because they're two completely... Xenoblade 1, actually, not 1, I meant like for 1. Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3 are sort of independent of themselves.
I can't refute that without spoiling anything.
Yeah, and oh shit. Oh,
They
you're
each
like, please
Xenoblade.
stop
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
Okay, no.
What can I say without spoilers?
Okay, but
Bayonetta
Each
3.
Xenoblade game has its unique main cast, but they are connected overall. Like all
But
three
just-
of them are
right.
overarchingly
just the fact that they're in the
connected.
same world, that's it.
Giving
though.
us Mickey Mouse
But
ears or something?
with different variations of the world, which the second
Well, no,
game, I don't even know how the second game works actually from the first.
The
from
second
after
game is
first.
actually the second half of Klaus's experiment.
I still need to play the games.
Yeah, I can't say much because Alex hasn't
Yeah, I
played
know,
the first
Alex
game.
is
I don't want to
gonna-
spoil it.
And
but
then
they are connected.
Splatoon, bro. You're gonna put
Okay,
a
okay.
battle
What about
royale
Bayonetta?
game in there.
What about Bayonetta?
I already brought up Bayonetta.
I haven't played Bayonetta.
Use Bayonetta instead of... Or Metroid Prime. Use Metroid Prime. They're making a fourth Metroid Prime.
I never played Metroid.
If you
Prime,
wanted to
'cause I
go down the
never-
more story-driven game route. But yes, Splatoon is kind of a bad example. They didn't need to make Splatoon 3. But, they sold 3.4 something million units in the first weekend. So
They just needed
it's going to be
to-
another Splatoon game at some point.
They need to find a way to bring Splatoon back.
Yeah, I would have bought Splatoon 3 if I had money. I want it. I just can't afford it.
It's not
So
really
yeah,
my
that's my
favorite.
hill. I'll die on it. Should Link talk? Yes.
No.
I'm getting Pokemon Scarlet, so that's where my money.
I'm
He talks about something completely different. He's like, I'm not gonna get in on this.
I'm indifferent on Link speaking. I just after playing Xenoblade, I want so much deeper of a story from Zelda.
You can
Like-
still get that with no dialogue from him. There's so many other characters that we
I'm
can get dialogue
aware, but I'm saying like they won't kill Zelda because think about it. When the champions died in the first Breath of the Wild, who felt that emotion? Zelda, not Link. I mean, yeah, he did if you go through like his diary and stuff or
I
like
don't care.
extraneous things. But though I shouldn't have to do extra homework to find out these bits of character that should have been presented in the main story, is what I'm saying.
Right, but you gotta realize when that happened and she's breaking down and everything, Link is literally on a battlefield. He does not have the time to also break down because he has to protect her.
I'm not saying that's the place for him to do that.
I know.
What I am saying is at some point in the game, like if Zelda dies in this game and Link doesn't shed a single tear, that's on Nintendo for messing that up. Because yes, I understand that there should be a link between the player and the game, but if something big like that happens, we should see it in Link. That's the point I'm trying to get across.
I mean,
Because if Link
we
starts
see- I
crying,
know,
then
but,
that
like-
to me,
no, I know.
as the player says
if he
that I
starts-
should be crying.
Right. I don't want dialogue still though. He can cry if he wants. Like that's just noise. But I don't want any dialogue. Even
wouldn't
then,
even
though,
want him to,
I
like-
wouldn't be upset even if he only shed like one tear or something.
So like when
'Cause-
Zelda falls,
Right.
you wouldn't want him to like scream her name as she's falling.
No.
Like that's not an appropriate like. You don't think he would?
Cause
As a
like
character?
you realize, cause like for me when I'm watching that cutscene, like Because you already feel connected with like Link. The player feels as if they are Link, even though they're watching a cutscene and they're watching the animation.
Right.
When you watch it, you have that urge to be like, oh my god!
Right. So why can't Link do that?
But because you're reacting to it, if you shout out, you're gonna miss a line or something of dialogue. Have you
I do
ever...
have Xenoblade all the time.
Exactly. So have you missed dialogue and you're like, crap!
No, because I have subtitles turned on. So I read it. Is what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm indifferent on Link talking. I don't think it would be a bad thing.
Bruh. I don't
but,
think...
you know, that's my hot take for the week, because I think
so
Link
done
should...
with this conversation.
He's playing on his Switch. He's already given up on this conversation.
It's so late.
I think the opportunity should be available for Link to speak words. Is how I'll put it. The opportunity should be there.
And the opportunity should die.
Yeah, just like Zelda will.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't have anything else. I mean, I do have other things to say, but we're 2 hours in.
I'm so
I think we gotta.
Oh,
we
so
gotta
we're finally
stop
done now.
And
Yeah, we're fine.
here's the thing. We're definitely, once we get more info on the game, we're definitely going to do another Tears of the Kingdom episode between now and release. There's no way we won't do another episode at some
Oh
point.
my gosh. You know what the real poll question should be? Because Alex brought up Pokemon Scarlet. Does Wiglet look like a
Pokemon, who
sperm?
are
Yes
you?
or no?
What?
No, stop. You can't say that.
Why? Are you really gonna censor that?
I'll think about it. I'll see how I feel after editing a 2.5 hour podcast episode.
Oh my god.
While you guys were talking, I was playing
my
Link to the
audio's running
Past.
204.
Oh my god.
Are you really?
Yes.
Wait, what did he say?
Something about Link to the Past.
While you guys were going back and forth, I was playing Link to the Past.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I'll make a YouTube series out of me doing a 3-heart run on Breath of the Wild.
Ooh.
I'll think about it. If you made it all the way to the end of this podcast and you're listening right now,
Congratulations.
if more than 2 people who aren't Melina and Alex comment the word pineapple in the comments on YouTube.
Why pine? Actually, no, yo. If they comment this also.
Yeah, it's got to be a
so
super obscure word.
No. But you also okay. So you have to comment pineapple. So that's Nick's word. Alex, what would your word be?
Bet.
Pineapple bet.
Pineapple bet.
Make it a sentence, Melina. We can make it a sentence.
Okay.
Let's brainstorm here. 2 hours and 5 minutes in.
I bet you a pineapple Link will not talk.
No, that's too long. That's too long.
Just kidding.
You could do Link bet pineapple.
Apple. I'm just kidding. Pen,
Pineapple bet
pen?
apple. Pineapple apple pen.
Oh my gosh.
I have a pen. I have an apple.
Can you get copyrighted for that? Stop singing.
No.
Oh.
Unless if you're using the original audio, then yes, you can get copyrighted. But if you're doing your own version, then no.
No, because I can appeal the claim. If it gets claimed on YouTube for that, I can appeal it and be like, it was a parody. It was a cover.
It's a parody.
Okay.
Calm down.
Also, you're gonna take monetization on my 3 subscriber podcast YouTube channel. Screw off. You don't need that money.
Link's
You don't need the
pineapple
1 penny.
bets.
There
Link's
we go.
Pineapple
If
bet.
you want
He's
me to
been-
do a gameplay playthrough of Breath of the Wild starting in 2023, because I need time to get proper, because I don't want to get an Elgato, because the capture card I have now is not ideal for that. Could also be a Twitch stream type thing too, where I do a Twitch. It can be figured out. Anyway, if you want me to do that and you've listened all the way through to this episode, comment Link. What was it? Link pineapple bet.
Link's
Bet.
pineapple bet.
Link's pineapple bet. And I will do a playthrough, a 3-heart run on master mode of Breath of the Wild. before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. So that's been our super long Zelda episode. Does anybody have anything they want to plug or anything before I
go
wrap us
check
up?
out our Instagram page. We're gonna have some more teasers posted and everything, so for next week. So look forward to
I don't
that.
even know what we're talking about next week.
It's okay, don't worry.
We're talking about something next week.
No
That's
spoilers for
Here's
you
the thing
guys.
though, we're not gonna spoil what we're gonna talk about next week. So
Why?
because
I feel like if you've listened to a 2-hour-long podcast, you deserve to know.
No.
no, because if you
No.
go on our Instagram page, we're gonna be posting hints until the next video releases on what the next topic is going to be. So it'll be a fun little guess
And
the
then
topic game.
I will say, the topic after that should be Xenoblade 3. I think.
but that's
Assuming
with-
the schedule goes according to
Yeah.
plan.
yeah,
But that's with Colin. So,
Yeah, be
which I
prepared,
could really sit
so-
him down whenever
yeah.
and record
When
that.
Xenoblade episode comes out, Alex and I will not be here, sadly.
Yeah, get out. Or if you guys want to buy and finish Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in the span of 2 weeks, be my guest.
I still have to finish
On
the
top of
first
work?
two.
Oh, yeah. No, you don't, Alex. Just
You
play
don't
the
need to
first one.
finish the
The second
second
one's
one.
not worth playing.
A second. Oh, now you agree with me? Oh.
Whoa. I said it's not worth playing.
Let's save
I never
this
said it
for
wasn't
next
good.
episode.
Okay? I will play the second one at some point because I'm a true Xenoblade fan. Well, if I were a true Xenoblade fan, I would already played it. But,
Let's
that's
wait
neither
until
here nor there.
next episode for you two to go back and forth on, and I just go back to playing Link to the Past.
Every time Alex gets excluded from the conversation, he just starts playing his Switch. We should do a Smash match during an episode. We should do Smash Live.
You said
Oh,
smash.
nope. Okay. Not saying that. Okay, anyway, thank you guys for listening. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Instagram at Joystick Drift Pod. You can go on YouTube at the Joystick Drift Podcast. If you're listening on Apple and you want to watch the video version, you can go there and see it there.
Hit that subscribe and click the notification.
Yeah, and you can subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification bell. You can follow on all the podcasting places and hit the notifications so you know when we're dropping a new episode every Wednesday. And that's about all I have. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace.
Next time on podcast, we voice act video games.
on Joystick Drift Z.
Next up on the Joystick Drift podcast, we have Nick going back and forth with Melina about Xenoblade 3.
Wait, that's what
Find out on the next exciting podcast of the next exciting episode of Joystick Drift Z.